Hello Comic Book YouTube, it's Liam back with a follow-up to my previous video that I published the other day. Thanks to everyone that's taken the time to watch the videos on the channel. Very much appreciate the subscribers, comments and the views there. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel and you do like what you see, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. As I mentioned, this one's going to be a bit more of a quality over quantity episode here, back in the comic room. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into a little omnibus haul that I've had over the past few weeks, and then I'll get into kind of the main meat of the video and talk about it a little bit going forward. So as I mentioned in the previous video, it was recently my birthday, and one of the things I'd been looking at getting for that was the Avengers omnibus by Geoff Johns. So Forbidden Planet had been running a January sale on the website with like 30% off a lot of the books that were on there. So it was a bit cheaper than it was on Amazon. So I ordered a few books through them. Got a few things pre-ordered, which I'll show you in a subsequent video. But this is one of them that came because it had already been released. So this will fill the gap in reading between the Kurt Busiek, George Perez omnis into the Bendis New Avengers stuff. And I think it was around the second volume of these New Avengers post kind of Heroes Return or whatever it was called, with the blue banners, that I saw picking them up in singles. So I'm looking forward to reading those, and heard a lot of good things about the Busiek Avengers. So I'm looking forward to digging into that once the time comes. And then I had a few Facebook hauls recently as well. Was a seller trying to get rid of a few books on there, and one of which just happened to be on the topic of Avengers, the first volume of the original stories, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, all the classic stuff. First appearance of like Red Guardian, Baron Zemo, Silver Age Captain America coming into it, born all those classic stories, and for the price of it I couldn't really say no. So it's nice to add this to the collection, and hopefully look to add some of the later ones in as well. And from that same seller, a book I've been looking at for a little while but didn't really jump on it because of the price, but again, price was right on it and I thought it was a good opportunity to grab it, and that is the first volume of the Mark Waid Flash stories with Wally West. It's something I am picking up kind of slowly in singles. If I come across them, I'll pick them up, that kind of thing. And I've got the Geoff Johns first couple of volumes of, well, the first couple of omnibus of his runs, because again it was around the time Flashpoint and Flash Rebirth. That was kind of when I was picking up the singles, because I was a bit of a Marvel zombie back in the day. So looking forward to reading these. I've read the first story arc and it was really good because I had those in singles, but looking forward to adding the second and probably the third of those if I can find them for a decent price. And then I recently added all the singles of these to my collection to read through them, filled in the gaps so I could read the story. And then pretty much the day after the last few issues had been delivered, I saw this on Facebook for, again, really good price, and it is the Warren Ellis and John Cassaday Planetary. I've never read this before. I've seen a lot of good things about it, and a lot of people kind of rate it highly. Covers are all really good, parodying of different things, the Hellblazer cover and that kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to kind of sitting down and reading through this when I get the chance. But yeah, for the price, timing was right, sort of thing, because it was on my mind when I seen it and just thought I'd grab it. So one of the other books I was looking at grabbing was the first Gail Simone Birds of Prey omnibus, just to read through those stories. But instead of grabbing that, there was an auction on eBay that I'd seen, which I was keeping an eye on. Ended up winning that, so instead of getting the Birds of Prey omnibus, I've went and got something slightly different, and it is the Captain Britain by Alan Moore, Alan Davis, Jamie Delano, and I think there's Chris Claremont stories in there. Yeah. What had put us off previously is a lot of the books that were available here in the UK were the Panini version, and I didn't really like the size of it. The page quality didn't feel as good as like the traditional omnibus seems to. So when I saw this for a good price, it's a little bit scuffed up on the dust jacket and stuff like that on the corners, but I'm looking forward to reading this. A bit more Alan Moore, you can't go wrong with Alan Davis's art, storytelling, so I'm looking forward to reading through this, and nice to have the proper kind of Marvel version rather than the Panini version on my shelf. So, as I mentioned in my first video about my collecting goals for the new year, the main one on that was to finish my run on Daredevil, and for that I needed the first 2 issues of the series. Now, I managed to find a decent copy of one of them from America, so I've been waiting a few weeks for that to come through, and then a couple of Sundays ago I managed to get an offer from a seller for one of the books I was watching, and knew that the other book was due to come on the Monday. So I went to work as normal on the Monday, looking forward to getting back and seeing if the postman had been and delivered something good, and sadly found out about a family bereavement, which kind of took the shine off it. So I came home early, thankfully got able to leave a little bit earlier, and waiting on the doorstep was the copy of Daredevil #2 that I'd ordered from, sorry about the glare, that I'd ordered from America. It's in a 4.0, it's a cent copy, looks really nice. There's not a lot of discoloration, or, well, there's no ink or anything like that on the page, no tape on the cover, just a really nice solid looking 4.0 copy. So I was really happy to have that on my collection. So brought that in, checked it, give it a quick check over, looked alright, went through to be with my family, and had the notification that on the following day I was going to receive another package, and it was the main one that I was looking forward to. So you know, it's nice to finally have them, but it's been kind of bittersweet in the timing of obtaining them. So without any further ado, to finish off my Daredevil run, my copy of Daredevil #1. So I'd been selling a few books that I was pouring out my collection, and just kind of holding back the money for it, and then I had the right deal at the right time type of thing. I'd been looking around kind of 1.5 to 2 types of grades. I was trying to get it for around £1,000. Saw that one had sold in December for about kind of just over, which I should have really picked up, and then the seller had relisted the same copy for 1,100. So I was following that and humming and hawing about whether I should buy it or not, and then the seller then just sent an offer out to the buyers for a very reduced price. So kind of with buyer's premium and stuff like that, it was only a shade over £900 that I paid, which for a 2.0, and kind of looking at similar sales and what people are offering on like different Facebook groups and stuff like that, I'm really happy to have paid that price, and I think it's worth a little bit more, but obviously it's not something I'm looking to sell. So yeah, as much as it's kind of a sad ending with the bereavement, it's also a positive ending in the sense of completing something that I've been working towards for a good while now, and it's nice to finally kind of put this run to bed and be able to enjoy reading it once I get the chance to, and be able to kind of look forward to the next kind of collecting challenge from here. And that sort of brings us on to the main kind of question of the video. It's kind of where am I going now? Is showing the omnibus and stuff like that for the haul as well. It's something I'm maybe going to kind of take a little break from buying singles, or more pricey singles at least, to focus on grabbing some of those collected editions that I want to build and into my library, and if stuff I want to read while it's still in print. Like I say, I've got a few things pre-ordered through Forbidden Planet, which I got during that sale, so they're coming in, and I think at this stage I'm probably looking at the Captain America from issue 100 as being the next one I'm going to jump on. I've got the Steranko issues and a handful of the other ones there. I've got pretty much everything from the Brubaker run onwards. I've got all the Mark Waid issues, so probably a handful of the Dan Jurgens stuff to kind of piece that volume of issues together. The brilliantly drawn Rob Liefeld ones, or you see them all the time, would be easy enough to grab, and then just kind of grab the rest of the stuff going forward with. Really, I think there's only the first appearance of Falcon that'll be an expensive one, and that'll probably be the kind of final piece of the puzzle to to finish that set, and I'm maybe looking to go in a bit deeper on that and go into kind of Tales of Suspense to where Captain America joins the feature. I did consider going to do Avengers, but I think sort of the same as what I've done with Fantastic Four. I think I'm probably happier to collect that in omnibus format, and then just collect the singles from a later point, like I'm doing with from the Roy Thomas issues onwards for the Fantastic Four. That might end up becoming the main focus. I'm not quite sure at the moment. I haven't kind of settled, but yeah, just collect a few more omnibus, and I'm after maybe, you know, finish a couple of the other runs that I'm after as well. Got a few more of the Teen Titans books, as you saw in the previous video I've put out there, and otherwise just kind of get back into enjoying reading and enjoying collecting and trying to get a bit more organised. There's a few, well, there's a lot of boxes behind the camera. I'll maybe show you at one point and do kind of a reverse view of the room, because it's a bit of a mess. So I want to try and kind of, once my mind's decluttered and got the funeral and stuff out the way, I can then kind of focus on sorting that out and go from there. But if you're still here, thanks very much for sticking in with us, and really appreciate the views and stuff like that. And if you've got any ideas of stuff you've seen on the shelf or stuff I've shown in videos before, and you think, well, actually, why don't you collect this? It's something I'd be very much kind of happy to hear and have that conversation about. So thanks again for watching. Look after each other. Take care for now. Enjoy collecting. Bye bye.